Okay. Hey, g'day, good morning. Just been for a fly for the 2NURFM Beach and Surf Patrol for a Saturday morning, and I thought I'd take the opportunity to record a quick video, and I've called it a cockpit conversation this morning, and I've been meaning to do this for a long time. So many people will ask me about flying, how I got into flying, and basically everything to do with it. And it got me thinking not only about flying, but also our wants to try something new. And it's very interesting. I had a look at my logbook this morning before I came for a fly, right back to the very start, and it was June 11, 2016 that I went for my very first flight. 48 at the time, and a gentleman who I worked with at radio station, he came and worked with us for a little bit of time. He was actually a flying instructor, and we were talking one day in the lunchroom at the radio station. Wow, it's hot in here. I'm just going to open the windows a little bit, hold the windows open just a little bit. And he was talking about flying, and I asked him what he did in past lives, and I said, look, I've always wanted to fly. It's been one of my dreams since I was a kid. And he said, look, well, why don't you come for a fly with me one day? And I said, that'd be lovely. So anyway, long story short, went for my very first fly in a Cessna 172 on the 11th of June, 2016. And absolutely loved it. And I think for so long I'd wanted to have a crack at flying. I'd wanted to potentially... the great noise at an active airfield. For so many years I'd wanted to do it, but in truth, I really needed that push to get started. So went out to the aircraft, and just the things that you don't know. I'm 6'2", small aircraft, there's not a whole lot of room in them. Just getting into an aircraft is difficult. Having a look at all the gauges and the dials and the switches and the controls, and it's very, very overwhelming. But we went on the first flight, and in aviation it's called a TIF, or a trial instructional flight. And it's not a joy flight. You've got an instructor with you. Peter was a qualified instructor. But basically, you are hands-on. You are doing a lot of the things. You are taxiing, you are looking at the equipment, you're taking off. The instructor is never too far away. They're pretty much hands-on. But you're not just sitting there taking in the atmosphere and the joy of the flight. And one of the things that I remembered right from the get-go was taxiing the aircraft, just driving it along the ground from the apron where it was being stored, taxiing it along the taxiway to the runway. And unlike a car, you don't use the yoke or the column to steer, you use your feet, so differential braking. And I'm swerving to one side and I'm swerving to another side, and I'm just thinking, if I can't learn how to steer this aircraft on the ground, how the heck am I going to be able to do it in the air? And then looking at all the knobs and gauges, the pre-flight, to go around the aircraft at the start and make sure that it's safe for flying, checking the wings, checking the aircraft body, the oil, the fluids, the petrol, doing a dip for that. That is just sensory overload. Then you do the checklist before you start. So as you can imagine, after about 45 minutes flying, I've landed, and it was a very warm day as well. I've landed and I'm tapped out. Honestly, I was exhausted, but I loved it. And we went back to the kitchen at the airport, and we're just sitting having a chat. And Peter said to me, so what do you want to do? Did you enjoy it? And I said, mate, I loved it. I just absolutely loved it. What's the next step? So we had a little bit of a chat, and he was leaving Newcastle at that stage. So we did a couple of flights, and then I met a man who is now one of my great friends, Phil Unicum, and he became my flying instructor, and the rest is history. So fast forward to February 2026, nearly 10 years of my flying journey. I'm a qualified general aviation pilot. Got a couple of things that I want to do. I'm qualified to fly tail wheels. I'm tail wheel endorsed. And my next big step is to learn to fly the Tiger Moth. So that's something I'm very, very excited about. But the reason I'm talking to you today, on top of all that, just to tell you about my journey, is have you rolled into 2026 or 2025, 2024 maybe it doesn't matter which year it is, and you've looked and you've turned around and you've gone, I would love to do this. I would love to try that. I've always wanted to learn how to do something else. And you've never, ever done it. And one of the things that I always believe, excuses will close any door. So what I wanted to do in this cockpit conversation, what happens in the cockpit stays in the cockpit. What I wanted to do was just to say, look, if there's something you've wanted to do in your life, whether it's flying a plane, whether it's learning to surf, play guitar, bonsai, cook, it doesn't matter. If there's always something you've wanted to do in your life, don't let doubt stop you from doing it. And I know I've done it myself. There's been all sorts of excuses. It costs too much. I don't have time. The excuses just add up and add up and add up. But not only while the excuses are adding up, years are going by faster and faster and faster. And it was interesting into the first 4 or 5 flights when I was learning to fly. And I came back one day and I thought, why didn't I do this 10 years ago? Why didn't I do this 20 years ago? Because you're looking at, I've had more summers than I will see. And I was sitting there thinking, why didn't I do this? And probably a lot of reasons. But one of them was the fear of not being good enough, not being able to do it, and also walking through the door for the very first time. And whenever you try something new, you don't know what you don't know. So what I'm trying to do with today's cockpit conversation is say to you, if there's something you've always wanted to do, if there's been something on your bucket list, don't wait. We don't know how much time we have. Death and taxes, they're the only two certainties. And one of them is you got to pay your tax every year or every week, but we don't know when we won't be here. So don't let that fear of not knowing stop you from walking through that door. Because as I said, doubt will always close a door. So no matter what it is, go and have a crack at it. Look at the excuses. Yes, learning to fly can be quite expensive, but buying a motorbike can be expensive. Buying a caravan can be expensive. Don't let those stop you. You don't have to, if you wanted to learn to fly, you don't have to come in with a big wad of money and put it on the table. You can pay bit by bit by bit by bit. Unlike buying a motorbike or a boat or a caravan, I suppose, you can always just pay it off. But I think you know what I mean. So if there's been something you've wanted to do for such a long period of time, what's that old Chinese proverb, I think? When's the best time to plant a tree? 20 years ago. When's the next best time? Right now. So if you're watching this cockpit conversation today, if I can impart anything onto you, don't be embarrassed to be the white belt. Blokes especially, but adults, we feel very self-conscious coming through the door, not knowing. No one wants to make a mistake and no one wants to potentially look silly. But you know what? Everyone in that room, my instructor when I fly, the person teaching you bonsai, the person teaching you, guitar, they were in the very same spot you were at one stage. So take the risk, take the punt, do it. People remember their very first time. And if you're looking at doing something and you want to find out more about it, go on social media, go to sites that a bonsai site or motocross riders site or stand-up paddlers sites. Go and have a look, ask questions, because I guarantee you people who are into what you want to do will be more than happy to help you. They will be more than happy to guide you, mentor you, and point you in the right direction. So don't roll into another year. Don't roll into another week, another day without doing what you want to do, because regret lasts a long, long time. And you don't want to get to that stage in your life where, due to physical capabilities, you can't do it. And you're sitting there going, I really wished I'd have tried A, B, C, whatever it may be. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say. I'm kind of enjoying sitting in the cockpit of the 172, having a chat to you this morning. So we might do another cockpit conversation at some stage. But if I can give you the takeaway, if there's something you want to do, make the step today to find out more about it and get the ball rolling to do it. Stay well, and I'll chat to you soon.